Metro Exodus is basically the first game that takes you more outside of the tunnels, and the aiming was basically still too slow. Is what people complained about.
it.
So people complained about basically the aiming being too slow for outside of environments and stuff. That was definitely a big one. Then you have Gears 5, which, like I said, it's more of an FPS type thing. And I guess they're going for that here, but I feel like that should be a completely different genre from what Devil May Cry is. And then you have a Call of Duty again FPS type game. Then you have Astral Chain, which is more in line with Devil May Cry, even though it's still completely something different, but it's not a first person shooter. And then all of a sudden you just have like Apex Legends, which is also an online game, online
action
only,
orientated.
So whatever. I mean, then you could put everything on there. So what the fuck? This category is just stupid like that.
But I find it funny that Fortnite's not in it, but then all of a sudden I thought, wait a minute, it's basically a sandbox shooter.
And then we have finally arrived at the creme de la creme, as they say, the best of the best, the GOAT. Wait, the game of all time? No, that's not it. The game of the year. So, yeah.
Which, recognizing a game that delivers the absolute best experience across all creative and technical fields.
So apparently Death Stranding needs to be there, apart from boring people to death for the first 20 hours, from what I keep hearing. Like, that's overwhelmingly what I keep hearing. It's the people that pressed on after not getting tired in the beginning that basically like the game.
Like my brother.
So it's apparently very boring in the beginning, and that's apparently a good thing. That's apparently what Kojima
that's about my brother, and the thing is, my brother will play a game no matter what just to complete it.
Okay, so yeah. That's not my thing. It needs to be interesting, and if it's not interesting, and like, definitely not. I wouldn't play this 10 hours. I would play this like 5 hours and be bored. So yeah.
Then you have Control, which that it's had its like it's a good game. I will say, like from what I've seen, it is a good game. However, even with like the PlayStation Pro and stuff like that, they did have some
hiccups with the particle effects. Yes.
Particle effects, and it was lagging PlayStations and stuff.
Yeah, and that was after the release, because at Gamescom, did you...
Gamescom, we had no problems. It was smooth.
That's very weird.
It was super smooth.
I think they mixed it up. I think they released the Gamescom demo and they actually...
You say that. The Gamescom demo...
was not a demo. It was a full game.
It was a full game because we'd accidentally broke it.
Yeah, because you had to load game to start it, and you just picked new game.
You didn't have to load game. They loaded the game for you already, but he had to change it to English.
Yeah, because it was in German.
And he pressed new game instead of load game.
Then I'm going to continue and skip one thing so we can basically...
Sekiro Shadows Die Twice.
Which has been there for a lot of times, and it could basically be one of the games. This could end up winning.
Good,
this could end up winning. Sekiro is one of the games that could end up winning. Super Smash Brothers, I mean, it's fun. It's a beat 'em up style game. It's platform brawler. It's its own thing basically. But I would never place a game like this as game of the year. Like any type of beat 'em up, or even something is more fun to me as a beat 'em up as this like platform brawler. It's just too much of a niche thing for me to become game of the year, and that's to some degree that's sad, because it means that game of the year also has to be something in a restricted few genres. Like, I guess that's somewhat sad, but that's just my bias apparently. Then you have the Outer Worlds as well, which would be something that I would have voted for if I wasn't such a Resident Evil fanboy. So that went to Resident Evil 2. I mean, that's what I voted for. I still think it could be when I don't think it's gonna be game of the year unless there's such...
I will say there was an article came out that has said that Resident Evil 2 has surpassed its original games like sales. So in the 20 years since Resident Evil 2 came out, it had about wait a minute.
Yeah, but isn't the PlayStation 4 and just like this console generation, like the most
the first PlayStation had sold 4.96 million units, according to Capcom's official figures. However, At the beginning of the year, it sold like a couple just below that. Like I think 3 million, I believe. And then when they announced, like they had Project Resistance and Resident Evil 3 come out, or like announced, they sold more, and now it is at 7.4 million units sold. So technically, we could be in the running.
Yeah. I mean, but that's just comparing it to itself. So let's comparing it to the previous version of the game. That's nothing to do with this itself here, because this is. I feel like Control isn't. I think that's not big enough of a title to basically go run away with this Game of the Year thing. So that's the first thing. That Stranding is just has people split too much. It's like basically a 50-50. You either love it or you hate it. That's not going to be like a thing Marmite. That's going to be Game of the... Yeah, it's not... Marmite's not Sauce of the Year or whatever. I'm just saying something.
Well, you can love it, but you can hate it. It's like me,
it's not
I love it.
Spread of the Year. It's not spread of... It's not like top spread and like potentially, unless it's somebody's list or something. But if you would go off of that, like, do you like chocolate more, butter, or do you like Marmite? I don't think Marmite's going to win that by popular vote. So yeah, whatever.
But I'm Marmite.
So that Stranding is a bit of a Marmite. Then we have Resident Evil 2. Like you said, it's sold better than the original version, which basically came out in a console that sold worse as this one, because didn't the PlayStation 4 just sell best out of all consoles ever?
I believe, but also it hasn't sold more than Monster Hunter World. I just saw Monster Hunter World sold...
Wait, is that on this list for best? No, it's not on the list for best game.
If it was, Monster Hunter World sold 14.6 million units. So...
But not everyone that buys a game necessarily loves it, so...
That is true. But like that is like...
Then you have Sekiro, which is it's still a hard game, so a lot of people who may be more casual gamers may not vote for that because it's not...
Like me.
Yeah, maybe that's what's gonna do it in.
Oh wait, I'm not a casual gamer. What the fuck am I talking about?
I mean, I feel like Resident Evil 2, Sekiro, or The Outer Worlds sound like the most likely to win that.
Yeah, those...
But then again, The Outer Worlds isn't really that... Despite it being like a very seriously good game, and it's like... You don't really hear too much about that. Like, not negatively, not positively. It's just... It was there, it came out, it was positively reviewed. Everyone... Like, generally, most people loved it, so... But then it just died down. Like, I don't think it's... I don't know if the fan base is as active as something like Sekiro or Resident Evil. Resident Evil has the entire legacy of Resident Evil behind it. Okay, maybe The Outer Worlds has the legacy of original Fallout behind it, and original Fallout fans who didn't like the later games may vote for that. And Sekiro has all of the From Software games behind it, like Bloodborne and... fucking hell. So this is going to be a hard one. But what do you think? Like, we voted for Resident Evil 2, but what do you think is going to win? What's your prediction, actually?
Resident Evil 2.
Okay, let's make a bold statement. Let's say we voted for Resident Evil 2, and let's say it's going to win.
Yeah?
Yeah, let's say it's going to win. I mean, it's a big fan base, isn't it, Resident Evil?
Like, Resident Evil has such a big fan base. Like, most of them are...
And they're a vocal fan base, so they may just come out and be like, we're going to vote for this.
So, can I point out... This is how vocal like Resident Evil fans have been. Like, we've been wanting remakes of the like Resident Evil games since forever ago. But like when they announced it, we saw nothing of it. But then when Resident Evil 7 came out, we were like, okay, with like their new RE engine, it was like, okay, we do have some hopes here and that. And then they announced it at E3 last year, and it was like, holy shit, they did it. It's fucking amazing. And then... I mean,
it's the same engine, but the graphics do look so much better.
The graphics are so much better. But then they announced Resident Evil 3 just 2 days ago.
Despite it already being very much known that it was going to come out.
Technically, it wasn't known it was going to come out. It wasn't known until 2 days beforehand when it was basically leaked on the PSN store in Japan. But when we were like, oh, it has to come out this year because it's the 20th anniversary of Resident Evil 3. Last year was the 20th anniversary of Resident Evil 2. So it has to be a year apart, and it was. And they were both being made at the same time, which was fucking amazing.
Do you think we're gonna see any more of Resident Evil 3 here? Because I think the guy, the presenter, Jeff Keighley, basically said that it wouldn't be there.
He said it wasn't going to be revealed there, I believe.
Oh, maybe. Did he use the words reveal? Because otherwise we may see some more stuff. We may see some gameplay stuff more.
He said that he doesn't think there was anything, but there might be like some little bits.
That was just the awards part, because the gaming awards is more than an award show. Like, we've made it out to be this award show. We've been talking about an award show for an hour and 20 minutes.
Fucking hell.
Yeah. Next thing is basically there's also reveals, announcements, more tidbits about games that we already knew were gonna come out.
Yeah.
So let's say a few things that we would be expecting. I think something that always showed up at the gaming awards was Crash. We've had Crash Trilogy.
No,
there?
Crash Trilogy was not announced at the Gaming Awards. It was at E3.
Oh yeah, that was at E3.
It was at the same E3 as surprisingly same E3 as Death Stranding was announced.
Oh yeah.
Because that's when Kojima came back. He came down.
It was. It was like it was.
Resident Evil also got announced there. Resident Evil 7.
Yeah. No, what was it? The Gaming Awards last time was Crash Nitro Racing.
Nitro Racing. That got announced there.
That got announced there. We had that Crash Team Racing Nitro Kart was announced there. There's a lot of rumors. I don't even think if they're just rumors. I think it's maybe true that they're actually, what is it, Beanox, which is it the part of Blizzard as well? I don't know. But the ones that have been working on that worked on the game, that would potentially be working on a new Crash game, like completely new, maybe inspired by the old games, not necessarily taking a page out of the PlayStation 2 games that they kind of moved around.
Oh my god, that's the first Crash game I actually played now, thinking about it.
Yeah. So they may just take like characters and stuff, because they have been taking characters from the PlayStation 2 era and putting them in the card game itself. So they haven't moved around them there, but when it comes to they have made new levels, even in the Insane Trilogy. So
in the Insane Trilogy they made new levels, but they also the levels that were deleted, like they were scrapped, were put back in.
Yeah. So they may just be doing something like that. They may just be making a completely new game, and there may be something.
And it's announced Wrath of Cortex.
I don't think they're going to do anything like that.
If they do that, I'll be a happy little child.
A lot of people really hated the PlayStation 2 era of Crash Bandicoot anyway, so I don't think they're going to do that.
That was the first game I played with my mum, okay? That was a game me and my mum played together.
I think they're going to come out with... I think they may, or it's either here or it's going to be kept up until E3. Depending on if Sony skips E3 again and does some stupid state of play where there's nothing shown. Whatever. Also, state of play is very... just to go off on a tangent a bit, state of play is very impersonal. It's a disembodied voice talking to you. Where Nintendo Direct, there's actually a guy standing there talking something. It's more personal. That's
yes, it's being translated,
but it's still more personal.
It is. Well, you gotta say that right at the end, it did get a bit personal because he was there talking about the 25 years.
Yeah, but
oh Jesus Christ!
I mean, that's just.
You must feel old.
Yeah, fuck you.
No, you're 5 years older.
Let's continue. Do you think there's anything else that will be... I don't know. The only thing that I could come up with was Crash, but I don't know anything else that could be announced. I didn't check
Fighter Pack 5.
Fighter Pack 5 for...
Smash Bros.
Smash Bros. Yeah.
That's been rumoured. I feel like they're going to show possibly a little bit more, maybe, of Kingdom Hearts 3.
Oh, yeah. Because you had the DLC.
You say DLC. I think it's like...
It's an extension, basically. It's going to be its own game.
Like what happened at the ending of the game. I want to say... I don't know if they may or may not touch on Resident Evil 3, possibly. Like, if they can show us some, like, tidbits of, like, Nemesis, possibly, I would be happy, but...
Maybe something about Persona 5.
Oh, Persona 5 Royale.
That would be cool.
That
or the Persona Strikers. What was it?
Strikers, yeah.
What's it called? Strikers? That's something that... It seems interesting. That's the thing that seems interesting as well, Persona Strikers, because it's canonical, apparently, and it takes place after the story. Despite it being a totally, completely different type of game and being more like Hyrule Warriors, which is like Dynasty Warriors, basically. But it was
this is all new to me. I do not know what those games are.
I haven't really played Dynasty Warriors games, but I did play Hyrule Warriors because that was fun.
I've never played any of those.
So yeah, I think I'm also looking forward to Strikers. Maybe we can see something about that, but I don't really know if that's something. Maybe they could combine that. Maybe that's something like a double feature that they could show or whatever.
Avengers?
Avengers, maybe. We saw it at Gamescom. We played it at Gamescom.
We played it at Gamescom. It was actually pretty good.
It played very smooth, but we didn't have the open world yet, so we don't know how that will work.
It was pretty good though. It did feel fun.
So that's basically what it comes down to. Maybe something about that. Yeah, it could be that. So the only completely new thing that we haven't talked about, that we haven't seen at Gamescom or anything, that I could think could be there would be the Crash game.
Yeah.
If there is such a thing, if that's not just wild rumors.
I was trying to think of something else, possibly.
Yeah, who knows? I don't really think there's much else.
It's then when we get there, like, and Kojima's like, I have a new game.
No.
Death Stranding 2.
Oh, there's one thing. We forgot about it.
Oh, no.
Ghost of, what was it called? Tsushima?
Yeah, that's going to be shown a bit more, because they showed a bit of that state of play.
They showed a bit of a trailer where you saw, like, Captain Underpants sitting in the distance. I mean, they Metal made that joke. You saw like, hey,
yeah, because we
when you saw the silhouette, you saw like
it.
the cape flying, and like it looked like he had big underpants. It looked like Captain Underpants.
We then couldn't stop seeing it. It was like, oh,
until you saw it was like a samurai or ninja?
And it was like to be continued at the Gaming Awards.
I don't think that was a samurai. That was a ninja because it threw the and he disappeared.
Possibly.
Whatever. That's something. You did a disappeared.
Now you're definitely like a DM. Sorry. He disappears like a in front of you. You have no idea where he went. It sounds like he pissed himself.
I also have no idea where time went because this is almost an hour and a half just bullshitting about this. The Video Game Awards will be longer though. I guess. I think.
It's sometimes like 5 hours long.
Yeah. I could potentially still sleep a bit afterward as well. Yeah, whatever. I don't know what we're gonna do. I was trying to get some sleep before and maybe some sleep after, and then watch it again to basically do commentary because the rest of the people definitely can't do it now. Like Weird he's gonna put it up on his channel again.
Yeah, like Weird's like doing uni stuff, Griff's at work.
So they're gonna keep it for they're gonna keep it for tomorrow night. I'm just kind of lucky that I have a late shift tomorrow, so I have to get up pretty late at 10, which still isn't that late. But if I can sleep a few hours before and a few hours after, it should be fine. So whatever.
I've got alcohol to keep me awake.
Okay, well, I know this is long, and I know a lot of people will just basically be scared off by that. But I hope if you were here, I hope you enjoyed it. I hope to see you in the comment section below and maybe answer some of the questions that we asked, or just give us your own list or whatever you want to do. The comment section is free. You don't have to pay to get into the comment section. It's just there.
I will say, if you do want to play this game, we're playing a game called Shot Stranding. Shot Stranding.
What every time that Stranding is mentioned?
Every time Death Stranding is mentioned, you must take a shot.
I think a lot of people weren't going to drink, so I don't know if that's actually
but then
true.
every time it gets an award, you must take two shots.
Okay. I mean, that's a good... If you want to play that game...
If you want to play that game, that's what I mean. If they want to play that game...
If you want to see the Video Game Awards, but think it's going to be a bit too boring, just get some friends together, watch it together, get some shots, and then, do the Shot Stranding or whatever.
Maybe make some burgers while you're at it.
Yeah, you can take some extra... You can even take extra shots every time, like you see Jeff Keighley drooling when he thinks about Hideo Kojima. Whatever. Okay, I'm gonna end this here before we start meandering again about some other bullshit.
That's true.
We're gonna see you in some other video that gets uploaded another random time when you don't expect it again, like this one. Yeah, because we're all about schedules here. We'll see you whenever.
Bye.